Here we have the new 2026 Nissan Sentra. Now this one comes in the S trim level in fresh powder paint. We have charcoal cloth interior. The powertrain consists of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine made it to the Xtronic CVT that gets us 149 horsepower, 146 pound-feet of torque. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. And for this to be the base trim, I really like the front fascia look. I'm glad we didn't skimp away from LEDs and didn't throw in the LED running lights. This is a really nice look for this car. As we come around to these wheels, these are going to be 16-inch steel wheels with the covers on them, and the covers look really good. And I'm sorry for the wind noise in advance, it's just very windy today. But to the door panel, one touch up and down window on the driver's side, regular power windows on the other 3 doors, rear window lockouts there, power mirror controls, we do get blind spot monitors, and then our power door lock controls are here. Bottle holder, trunk release, eco mode, hood release there. We get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. And here's our 6-way manual driver's seat. Now I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so we're going to take a look at the rear seat room. So pretty good space, especially for a compact car. You do get one USB-C charge port there, which is nice. And there's a look at the front from back here. LED reading lights throughout, which is good. And then we have our child locks on the outer doors in the back, lock, unlock. And then to the cargo area, there's a trunk space. If you want to pull this on either side, that can help you release the seat and then it'll fold flat. There's a tire inflator kit there. And then if you want to open it from the outside, the trunk, just hit that latch. But another big plus is going to be the full LED tail lamps. I love that. And the overall design of the lights is really cool. Over here, capless fuel filler. And then when you hit that latch, seat will fold flat. When the seats are up far enough in the front, you can run longer objects through. And then you have your top tethers for the car seats behind the seats themselves. Gotta make sure the seat belt's out of the way. And then your lower anchors are right there for your car seats. Now front passenger seat, manual 4-way there. Then you have your glove compartment with the owner's manuals. I like that trim. And then over here, you can see the parts content if you're interested in that information. And then as we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. There's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Again, 149 horsepower, 146 torque. Before we hop in the driver's seat, I'm just gonna show off the blinkers. We can get out of this wind tunnel. Now into the driver's seat. So you get that hard plastic vinyl wrap steering wheel here. Like the 2-spoke design though, that's really nice. There's the horn. Now over to this radio, we do get AM, FM, XM radio along with Bluetooth audio. And then you have the USB drives you can connect directly to as well, Then wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. I like the newer system. You can just save the presets there in the radio, Then you have a shortcut down here to adjust the bass, middle, treble, and then the balance and fade there. Even brightness for the actual screen. And your settings down here, you can go into your general settings and then to your system settings if you want to change your language. And then if you want to change your units of measurement, you can do that individually back in here. And then your phone walks you through how to connect it. And then you have your apps there. Backup cameras here. Guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And down here, hazards. Volume knob, you can click that to turn the audio off. You can change the brightness settings for the screen. And then down here you have your single zone manual climate control, so fan speed can be adjusted there. That turns everything off. And then you can adjust your fan direction there, your AC toggle, and then your temperature there. Those two USB-C ports, 12 volt. And you have a little space to hold at least one of the phones while it's on the charger. And for the shifter, just grab this lever, reverse neutral drive, and you have your engine braking right there. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage, automatic brake hold there, and then your auto stop toggles there. Center console cubby space, pretty deep pocket for the segment. And there's a look at the back seat. Sunglasses holder. Vanity mirror. Then back up front, left side stock, blinkers, high beams, auto, then your high beam assist, you can toggle that there. Right side stock, intermittent wipers, so you have one time off, intermittent low, high. You can adjust that intermittent frequency here, then pull up for the fluid. Left side of the wheel, adaptive cruise control. You can adjust the gap for that. Set your speed, cancel, will set, then adjust your speed, resume, cancel, volume down, volume up. And then on this side, you can go through your track list or radio station presets, voice recognition, Bluetooth. And then this goes through your shortcut menu. And you can use this or these arrows to kind of go through everything. You can see as I'm going through what all is available to you. And then I'm trying to show the tire pressure monitors. You can see those there after you start driving for a minute. Now you can adjust your brightness for the gauge cluster right here. Buttons on top. Push button start. And then finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2026 Nissan Sentra S out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Sentra S here, this 2-liter 4-cylinder, it actually moves pretty nicely. And I've said this before in the other trim levels that I've reviewed, but this car is relatively quick for having a CVT and a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with this displacement. The overall driving dynamics are really nice as well. It's very easy to control. It's very easy to drive. A lot of people get these because they're relatively inexpensive. They have a lot of standard features and they're just, again, they're easy to drive. So easy to park, easy to maneuver. Doesn't do anything scary. It's just basic transportation when you think of the engine and transmission here. In terms of how the layout is, the screen, the buttons, I like how everything is somewhat far away, but still easier for me with my longer arms to reach. I have the seat back more because I am taller, so if you're closer to the steering wheel and your arms are a little bit shorter, you'll still be all right reaching everything. But with that being said, the space here is really good as well. So a lot of the times in these smaller cars, the space doesn't feel as good because there is so much there, but Nissan just does a great job here in these recent models, making it feel spacious in the driver's seat. So someone who's 6'3" like myself has enough room for his longer legs, has enough room for his wider hips on the seat, and can still move about without hitting stuff all around. Now, in terms of how it drives, again, it's simple, but I like that it still feels agile. It's not like a really loose steering feel. It's just perfect. I feel like I'm glued to the road almost, but it's still comfortable. I don't feel like the steering is too stiff, if that makes sense. There's too much of like an understeer or oversteer. I always get those confused. But I don't feel like the steering, again, is too loose where I can't adjust, but it's still smooth. So, I mean, that's just a very nice quality to have in a steering wheel. Gauge cluster layout, I like having the digital side over here, and then I like having the, you know, it seems like it's a bit busy. I like having everything over here with more of an analog setup, so I can see the speed there in miles per hour and kilometers. I can see the fuel tank, I can see my range on the fuel tank, and then I can see my mileage, as well as the temperature and what time it is there. And again, even though it's a lot in that area, it's not overwhelming. When I look around, okay, I know the clock's there, I know the kilometers are there, I know the mileage is there, so that was a smart design move, I think. Now, with this being an S, not a lot of amenities. I would say you get your standard wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, you get your push button start, you have remote keyless entry, but for the most part, there's not too much on here. But at the same time, there's a lot that you can actually use here, whether you're talking about the adaptive cruise control, the blind spot monitors, again, the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, even the reading lights being those LEDs, so it's a lot more brighter if you're sitting somewhere and want to pick up a book or whatever. Now, I have it in the standard drive mode now, so I'm going to leave it there, and going to try to give it a pull getting on the interstate here in a moment. Here we go. So again, I mean, the pickup here is pretty good. Now I want to give one more big thanks to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now the eco mode, I'm going to put that on there. Now I didn't notice a sport mode button anywhere, and it's usually either on the back of the shifter or you have a switch. Now this just has the eco mode button on the side. So I don't know if you don't get sport mode in this trim level, or maybe it's just not on these Sentras based on what kind of car it is. But I mean, the car still moves perfectly in that standard drive mode, especially since you're getting that 30 miles per gallon city, 38 highway. But overall, I think for the money, this S is, it's a solid car. Now you can get a Kicks S for around the same money, but there's just something I like about this car. The car is just easier to drive, it's easier to handle, easier to park. Doesn't feel as big as the Kicks, even though they're about the same size, except where height is concerned. And it's just, it's basic transportation that looks fantastic. They did such a good job with this redesign. And that's not knocking the Sentra, saying it's basic transportation, but a lot of people especially a lot of working class people, they want something that's easier to maintain in terms of just car payment, car insurance, gas, oil changes, all of that. And that's what you get here. You still get adaptive cruise, you still get blind spot monitors, you still have your wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility, even your tire pressure monitors. It's still a nice car. It's just basic. It's not trying to be something it isn't. And that's why it's able to be under $25,000 for the sticker price. And I just think a really good option if you're comparing it to the Civic, if you're comparing it to the Corolla, it's a really good car in my opinion. Really good car. And in this S trim, you get everything that you need, a little bit more than that too, and you don't have to pay for anything you don't. So all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Nissan Sentra in the S trim level.